And you already know the topic of the day is going to be how we did over the course of the weekend, 4th of July. Now I know a good amount of y'all, well, not, let me look at the list. Some of y'all might be fasting, some of us are not fasting. All right. So let's just go over what happened, what transpired this weekend, and what we could have did. That way we could prevent ourselves from fasting ever again if we have to. All right. So let me start off with Tina. Tina, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Enough. How you doing? And how's your weekend?
I'm pretty good. Weekend was great.
Okay. So did you survive the weekend?
I actually
You
did.
actually did. Okay. You're one of the good ones. Okay. So you came out on top. You had color on the stick?
I did the first night, but then what was it? What's today? Tuesday. But then yesterday I didn't.
Yesterday you didn't have color?
Yesterday I didn't have color.
Okay.
Did I talk? Yeah, that's when I talked to you yesterday. Yesterday I didn't have color.
Okay. So now you reflecting back. Do you know why you didn't have color yesterday or no?
I can't remember what happened. I think yes, because on no, actually sorry. Let me take that back. Monday I did have color. Sunday I did not.
Right.
I
That's what I
did
was
not
thinking.
because of yeah, that's what it was. You have to
Okay.
excuse me.
Okay. All right. No problem.
Get my days mixed up.
Okay. So today, do you got more color or no?
I have more color.
All right. So tell me the worst days. Um, Tell me the worst day you had this weekend, and what did you eat that day?
It was Saturday.
Okay, just let us know what y'all had.
What I had was I had a cranberry ginger ale, 1 can, and I had some macaroni and cheese, 1 serving, and then I had a piece of salmon with that and some watermelon.
Okay. And later that day, did you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or you kind of got in a little bit late and that happened?
No, I actually got my 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
Okay. All right. And did you work out on that day or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So, um, one thing I want everybody to remember, if you know you're having a day where you're going to cheat, live your life a little bit more, and if you're trying to still keep color on the stick, or even maybe see the scale drop, plan accordingly and let that be a day where you say, okay, I already know I'm about to go out. Let me work out earlier during the day. Or you know what? I'm about to go to this cookout, which people usually don't do. Tomorrow morning, no matter what, non-negotiable, I'm going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Do some form of cardio, do some form of lifting weights. I don't lift weights on the weekend, but I do like to live my life on the weekends. So if I know me and Tina's gonna go out for drinks on Saturday, and me, I'll be real with y'all. If I'm going out for drinks, 9 times out of 10, I'm not coming in at 10 o'clock. I'm out till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'm waking up around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But because I know what I did yesterday, I don't care how I feel. I don't care if my head is banging through the frame, just like it was on my birthday. I'm doing cardio the very next day. Non-negotiable. Now, question is how long of cardio I'm going to do, but I'm still going to do it. Okay? So these are the little things that's going to keep you in that fat burning state. And when you do hit whatever goal weight you desire, to maintain it. You just got certain rules for yourself. When you decide to break your own rules and then you start allowing emotion to get into play, and then you're telling yourself, oh, you know what? I know I was supposed to work out yesterday, or you know what, I'm supposed to fast today because I know I kind of wild out, but I don't feel like it. Once that snowball starts piling up, that's when the weight starts piling up. Because now you're not being true to your own word and you know what the hell you're doing. So majority of my clients on this program, they really, really do not gain their weight back. If anything, they might stall at a certain weight. But they really don't gain the weight back unless something traumatic happened in their lives. Somebody, God forbid, died, or they lost their job and now they're eating their emotions. Something like that has to happen where you just say F life. But you're just going to notice that when you start living your life a little bit more, once y'all hit your goal weight, it takes a lot for you to even see that scale start shooting up and staying there because of your new current lifestyle habits. So once again, people don't gain weight over a year if you really pay attention. That freshman 15, you did a whole 180 of what you used to do. Your mom and dad or whoever used to make their meals, you're eating a lot more whole foods. Now you have access to a refund check if you had one, or now you can pick whatever food that you want. Now you're eating out every single day. That's what you're doing. You're studying more, which means what? You're not moving more. You're staying out a little bit longer. You're drinking a little bit more, which you wasn't doing when you was at home in high school. These little decisions add up. So when you start gaining weight, it's because of your lifestyle. It wasn't happenstance. It wasn't what you did in one weekend. Or for women, a birthday month. Let's be real. All right? So Tina, you did amazing. Did the scale drop this morning or no?
It dropped half a pound.
There you go. We'll take it. Okay? So now you're back on track. Keep doing what you're doing. All right? Thank you for sharing. Who we got? We might as well get you out the way. Tisha, how you do this weekend?
Are you talking to me?
Katisha, how you doing?
I'm fine.
You good?
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was fine. I don't celebrate 4th of July, so it's nothing.
I know you don't celebrate no holidays, so that's what I'm trying to see. Did the scale still trend down or what?
No barbecuing, nothing.
Okay. So, scale still trending down or no?
Yeah, a little bit. Not overkill. Few ounces.
Okay. Now, what do you think you can do, knowing your situation, that can make it drop more?
Stay on track.
What does staying on track mean to you?
That means stop my nitpicking and the foolishness that I be doing.
Okay, all right. Everything's about awareness, so I'm not gonna beat you up for that. You already know what it is. Just be more disciplined in that department. And once again, ladies,
that's basically it. I gotta get disciplined.
You cannot eat any food that doesn't exist in your household. Always rationalize it like that. If you got one of your triggers inside your household and you know that's your trigger, you're gonna eat it.
I know.
Question is when, right?
I just gotta keep everything out of my house.
Right. Make it hard for yourself, ladies. That's the best thing to do. If I'm a crackhead, why would I have crack in my house? Y'all laughing, and I'm being facetious, but it's really that simple. If I'm an alcoholic, why would I have a little mini bar in my house? It doesn't make sense. I got a mini bar in my house right now. I never drink by myself, so that's literally there just for aesthetics. I don't drink unless I'm out with somebody socially. So you just gotta understand your triggers. My trigger is popcorn. I already told y'all that, excuse my French, but when I used to be fat as hell back in the day, I used to go to the movie theaters just to get a large tub of popcorn, tell them to layer it, and get out. I didn't watch no movie.
Facts.
Popcorn. Okay? So because I know that, I only allow myself, which y'all probably seen on my Instagram, I only get popcorn. Only time if I go to the movies, I gotta sit and watch the movie. But now I don't get the tub, I get a medium. And because I chose to get the popcorn, if y'all paid attention to that video, one medium bag of popcorn, just a little popcorn, 1,200 calories. That's equivalent to you getting a triple cheeseburger from Wendy's, a Baconator. So you're thinking about it like that's crazy, right? But a lot of people's not taking into consideration is because the popcorn by itself is 500 to 600 calories. Every single second you press on that button for the oil, which is really soybean oil, it's not butter, by the way, ladies. It's soybean oil, and that's the worst oil if you want to raise your risk for cardiovascular disease. Every single second you hold it, that's 120 calories. So if you hold it for 5 seconds, you just add 600 calories worth of butter. Same concept with what? When I say y'all get the dispenser and you're putting this in a pan versus the spray. Okay? So when y'all out in the movie theaters and you want to live your life like I do, when I'm at the movie theaters, be very, very a little bit more mindful with the oil. Not the popcorn, the oil. Okay? Alright. Thank you for sharing, Katisha. Who we got on the call? You know what? I haven't seen you in a little minute. Shan, you still alive?
Did you call me?
Yeah, I called you.
I'm at football practice. So
Football practice? Okay, you just hanging out?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna leave you alone. You good?
No, you're fine. I can talk. I'm just not gonna turn the camera on. I'm around other parents.
Yeah,
But I'm
it's
here.
all good. It's all good. How was your
Yeah,
4th of
what's
July?
It was busy.
Busy?
Um, yeah, the kids just wanted to be out,
Okay.
so I was just out and about with kids.
Okay. And
But yeah,
did you feel like you survived 4th of July weekend? Did you make better choices or you kind of live life?
well, no, I made good choices because I didn't eat no green. I didn't eat anything green. It was all meat. It was all meat.
Wait, you say you made good choices because you didn't eat nothing
Yeah.
green?
No, I'm just saying. I ate meat the
Oh,
majority
okay.
of where I was with
Oh,
my
okay.
kids. Like the better choice was just
Oh, okay,
to
yeah, yeah.
get like either a salmon or something. They just had like mashed potatoes everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
You know black people.
so protein,
Okay, all
just
right. Well,
straight
you can't go
protein.
wrong with that. All right, and once again, next time, ladies, if y'all like mashed potatoes, I was actually going over this with a client earlier today. That the absolute best starch on earth, keyword though, starch. So something that is white. We already know that if it's white, it's not right. But if it's gonna be white, the best starch is potatoes. It's not even close. The potato is not the issue. It's how we manipulate the potato. Because now, black people, now I gotta add some butter to it. Now I gotta add some sour cream to it. Now I gotta add some chives to it. Now I gotta add some cheese to it. Now I gotta add some bacon to it. That's two totally different things. So if you're gonna have potatoes, if it's mashed or roasted, and it might have a little bit of butter in it, it's not that deep. And potatoes, out of all the starches, is the most satiating food out of all the starches. Actually, potatoes is one of the most satiating foods on earth. It's very hard for you to eat overeat potatoes. So if you're going to have any type of starch, I will always make you or prefer you to choose a potato over rice. But sweet potatoes is always better than a white potato because it got color to it. It got retinol in it, or it got beta carotene in it, which means it's good for your immune system and it's good for your eyes, little things like that. So once again, if it got color to it, it's always gonna be better than something that's white. That means it don't got no polyphenols in it, no flavonols in it. All right. Thank you for sharing, Shan. Is there anybody? You know what, Kirsten? Let me talk to Kirsten because she lost over 100 pounds on this program. So let's see how she did.
Hey Trey, hey everybody. I did good.
You did good this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So now, because you've been a vet, once again, you lost over 100 pounds. Tell us how, and she usually be in the streets. Let me see if she was in the streets this time. What day was your worst day this weekend? And tell me what you did to kind of like offset or mitigate the damage.
Oh, okay. So the 4th of July, it wasn't too bad, but I did have regular bread with my burger.
Good.
Only because I feel like it'd be a waste to get keto bread for like cookouts because I'm the only one that eat it.
Okay.
And I don't eat more than one. So I was just like, I'll just eat a regular bun. And I did have beans. So I did go up 1.5 pounds on the scale the next day. But what I always do whenever I gain weight is I just discovered through trial and error. I do the same thing every time. My next day, my first meal is always a steak, 3 eggs, and then my last meal is always a piece of salmon and green beans, no snacks, and I only drink water. And when I do that, I always lose whatever weight that I gained the previous day.
Okay. So your protocol that you made for yourself is after a day where you're living your life, what do you eat again?
I have a steak and 3 eggs for my first meal. Then my second meal, I have a piece of salmon and green beans. No snacks, only drink water. And then I always lose whatever weight I gain. Like whenever I have my cheat meals or whatever.
Okay. So ladies, based on what she just said, why do you think the meal choice that she had the day right after her living her life a little bit more, she had some real bread, which makes sense. By the way, I tell y'all once again, the bread is not the issue. It's about if you stacking it up with other things, right? But why is she having that meal right after and she's noticing that the scale's dropping?
High protein, whole foods.
Simple. It's really that simple. So once we choose to have a day where we kind of wild out, that is the day, the very next day you might realize, like for instance, 4th of July, you might have a margarita or two, you have some drinks, people have daiquiris, baked beans, mac and cheese, potato salad, all that. The very next day you wake up, you notice that for some odd reason, it is earlier than usual. I'm hungry as hell. Because your glucose levels is now out of whack. And your brain is thinking that it's starving when it's really not. So what you're gonna do, well, a lot of people do is say, "Oh man, well I did kind of mess up yesterday. Dang, you know what? I did see the scale go up a little bit more than I wanted. Let me just get out of my system." Now you wilding out again. That's where people go wrong. So one thing I want y'all to remember: you having one bad meal or one bad day is not gonna derail anything. Once you have two bad days back to back, that can mess it up. Okay? Your body can tolerate one cheat. It cannot tolerate two cheats. And cheating is from sun up to sundown. I did not work out today. Probably had a couple drinks today, so I drink my calories, not eat my calories. Oh yeah, I also did have some starches today, which in the whole purpose of starch is to help my body gain weight, ladies. Beans, corn, bread, rice, and potatoes are starches. They're made to help you gain weight, period. They're not bad for you. They just help you gain weight, right? And yeah, I ate outside my window. I extended my window, which means that I did not give my body the allowance to even tap into its own body fat, because it takes my body 5 to 6 hours to finish digesting food. So if I'm eating from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock, or for some people, they start the day off around 7 o'clock, have a coffee, you add some, cream into it, you add a little milk into it. You're telling yourself it's just a coffee. Your body's thinking energy, calories. So your window starts there. You gave your body calories, which means now I gotta burn this calorie. I cannot tap into my own body fat anymore. That's what that means. So from 7 o'clock, you gave your body a coffee and you go out with your boo thing and y'all have your last meal around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That is a 13-hour time span, right? Actually 14 hours from 7 to 10. Boom. Cool. There's only 24 hours out in a day. Which means if I tell my body more times to store energy, because the whole purpose of eating is to tell my body to store energy, but there's only 24 hours in a day, I tell my body more times to store this energy than to burn its own. How do you expect to lose weight? So when you get on that scale the very next day, and you know you didn't work out, and you know you had some starches, and oh Trey, I only had a tequila soda, just 2. But I also know that I went to sleep around midnight and I woke up around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Don't expect the scale to drop. It won't. Because based off your hormonal profile, what you're telling your body to do in real time, you're making your body release a little bit more cortisol. When cortisol is up, your body's going to raise insulin. When insulin is up, your body cannot even touch its own body fat. And the whole purpose of insulin is to help your body store energy but retain water. Makes sense? So don't play yourself, okay? The more carbs and more starchy the carb, the more insulin my body's going to produce. So if you're having low carb bread, but you're also having fries with it, yeah, don't expect the scale to drop, bro. If it does, great. But if it doesn't, you can't be surprised, okay? So that's why I want you to take it step by step. At least focus on the main things, not everything. Let everything else fall into place. That's why I didn't say cut out all carbs. No, just pay attention to these 5. Because these are the 5 ones that the way we hook it up is going to make you 9 times out of 10 stall. Notice I didn't say sweet potatoes. I said white potato. Right? Cool. Thank you for sharing, Kirsten. So once again, ladies, if you don't feel like fasting and you know you just had a day, just go to a day where you're having more protein and green vegetables. Green vegetables have the least amount of carbs out of any other color vegetable, period, and nothing man-made. It's really that simple. All right. So as of right now, do anybody just got any general questions and want to skip the line real quick and just want to talk about what they got going on or how their weekend went? Nobody, or y'all being anti today?
Hey, it's Mimi. I wanted to know if you can send me I started my fast on Sunday. Okay, give mommy a moment, okay? Okay, thank you. I started my fast on Sunday because I feel like, well, yeah, because Friday was a holiday and I did more than needed. And so I spoke with you, I believe, a couple weeks ago about how I like eating bagels in the morning. I wanted to know if you can send me some protein bagels.
Okay. Based off your own research, what is some protein bagels that you can have? What brand?
The brand that I seen came up was, I believe it was Sola. I want to
Okay.
say it is.
What else?
I don't recall off the top of my head, but I remember looking it up, and that was one of the main ones that kept popping up.
Okay. So what's wrong with solar?
I guess nothing. I just wanted to like just double check with you before getting it.
You know what's funny about you saying that, which is why I asked you that? You know the brand I did send you when you asked me about that same question?
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All
Nothing
right.
crazy. That's all I was asking. Like, what's wrong with that one?
Well, no, I just wanted to confirm before spending my money on it,
Yeah.
and then ruin it because I'm breaking my fast today, but I also feel like I should just wait until tomorrow because I started late on Sunday. I started at 7. And so it's about to be over in about a little over 30 minutes, but I just feel like it's already late, so I might as well push it to tomorrow.
Ladies, there's no such thing as it being too late if you're breaking your fast with eggs or salmon. Okay?
Okay.
I would rather y'all just break it real quick. That way you have more flexibility the very next day.
Okay.
Okay? After y'all do a 48-hour fast, believe it or not, you're not going to get as much extra fat loss results from the 48-hour range to the 72-hour range. The scale might still drop. So let's say Drea did still choose to keep going, right? She might notice the scale still drop, but just not as much as she probably want. And basically, you probably would have got the best of both worlds if you just choose to eat. Just once again, just have eggs or salmon. Okay? Too late for you to break your fast is closer to like, hey, Trey, I started my fast at 11 p.m. or midnight. Every single time I have a client that says it, I say, just eat the very next day. Just start in the afternoon. But if you're talking about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and you're already 30 minutes away, it's not that deep. Just go ahead and eat. That way, tomorrow, you're going to see the scale still drop, probably about half a pound or a pound. Your stick color's purple, and now you can kind of go along the day regularly. Okay?
Got it.
Now, the only thing I will comment on, Tamidria, is what I would recommend you to do, because you notice how you said, oh, I love this bacon, egg, and cheese in the morning.
Oh, no, I said a bagel. I didn't say no bacon, egg, and
That's even
cheese.
worse. That's my point.
I know, but I'm not gonna have it right away. It's just for because I know one of the downfalls I was having before the holiday is that, and so I have been wanting one as well lately, and so just wanted to confirm the one that I should get. So when that moment does happen again, I already have the appropriate one available.
So if you do choose to have a bacon, egg, and cheese, what time of day should you have this bacon, egg, and cheese? Even though I
I'm
know you're saying
having a
bagel.
bagel. I'm not
I
having
know.
no bacon.
I keep saying that to give you an idea that, hey, maybe I should have some protein with this dry ass bagel.
Okay, so if I do decide to have it, it's gonna be in the first thing in the morning, a part of that meal, simply because it's earlier. It gives the carbs, my body time to process the carbs and things of that sort.
Okay. Now watch this. Tina, if you had to have a bacon, egg, and cheese, you know I'm just messing with her now. What time of day should you have this bacon, egg, and cheese?
We got. I was like, why can't I unmute? Oh Lord. It should be, with I would say at the heaviest meal of the day, but she should have her protein first and
Thank
then
you.
carbs after.
Perfect answer. Okay? So that's why I kept trying to correct you. That ultimately,
Okay.
if you're going to have it, I don't want you to start off your day with that. Have
So
it.
don't. But isn't the heaviest meal of the day what we start off with?
Yes,
when we break
but
our fast,
you
so
notice
wouldn't
how
it
you
be a
keep
part
saying
of that?
so what are you gonna have with a bagel?
Well, I don't know yet,
Exactly.
but
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. So that's why
okay.
I kept saying bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, and you kept
So
saying no
if I'm
bagel.
gonna have it, then have, let's say, because I also like boiled eggs and bacon. So let's say I have boiled eggs, bacon, and then
Ladies, is that not
start to
a
eat
bacon, egg, and
that.
cheese like I've been saying this whole entire time? Am I tripping?
I mean, it is, but it's
Oh my God. Have that. Just have it. Just have it. But I
not.
want you to
Okay.
have that, if anything, for in all seriousness, have that
Hmm.
as maybe a snack following a real
Hey, hey,
meal
hey.
with some real food in it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Because ultimately, what do I like my clients having breakfast as their first meal today, or breakfast foods as their first meal, or for dinner?
For dinner,
Why?
because it's a lighter meal.
Exactly. So you know what to do. You just gotta do it.
Okay.
Okay. So when I have a bagel, y'all, I'm having a bagel. The days where I already knew I wanted something like that, I'm gonna have it closer to like my 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, as like my
Okay.
snack meal ish. But I'm gonna have it with some bacon and some eggs, and I might call it a day after that. But I already ate a meal that had nothing man made into it earlier. Okay?
Mhm.
All right. And once again, ladies, if you're looking for optimal results, don't have more than 1 to 2 man made things a day. The thing that's going to cause you to stall the most is not any type of carb, it's about the quality of the carb. Because a lot of people do not understand when they made these gluten free products and all that stuff. Yes, it's healthier for your gut health, but the reason why things are gluten free is not because it's just magically healthier for you. It's just some people's body cannot really break down gluten. But for a majority of people's bodies, when they're having wheat inside their system, it doesn't really interact well with them. So for a lot of people, breads is not, or grains just in general. The bran in the grain and the endosperm in the grain does not really agree with you. That's why for some people, white rice is actually better than brown rice. Because they took out that extra fiber that you was taught was healthier, but it doesn't agree with your gut. So now you got more inflammation, which means that it's a net negative because you chose brown rice over white rice. So white rice is easier to digest for everybody's body. Okay? But bread, because it got the wheat in it, no matter if you got a keto or not, usually it's not going to agree with some people's body types. So that's why some of y'all might realize the days you have the low carb breads, stick color immediately gets pink. Nothing wrong with the bread specifically. It's about how your body is processing it. Okay? Just keep that in the back of your head. All right? So when she kept talking about the bagel, I was like, yeah, have a real food first, then have that. Because now if you give your body protein with the carb, your body's going to be able to metabolize it a little bit better, believe it or not, than you just having straight naked carbs. Okay? So never just have carbs straight up. That's what mess you up. If you're going to have carbs, have it with a carb with a protein. When people get fat off carbs, they don't get fat off carbs. They get fat with what they're doing to the carbs that they're not taking into account. Like when I have rice, oh yeah, I forgot I put butter in my rice every single time. I didn't think that was that deep. Or I having toast. You was taught that toast is bad. Oh, it's not the toast, it's fat that I like to put avocado on my toast. But I heard avocados was healthy, so I can have it. It's the mixtures and the combinations that is the issue. The avocado in isolation is healthy as hell. The toast by itself is not bad, but nobody eats dry toast. You mixing carbs with fat, that's what gets you fat. Not the carb itself, not the fat by itself. Keep that in mind. All right, but thank you for sharing, Tamidra. Who else do I want to talk to? Bridget, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good.
Doing amazing, right?
Yes, I want
Okay.
to have my life celebration. I'm finally getting the scale to move.
Okay, all right. So, last time I spoke to Bridget, this was like around last week, Monday. She was around 178. So, what did you weigh in at today, Bridget?
174.2.
174.2, which means that she not only survived 4th of July weekend, she came out at a net negative and lost 4 pounds. So, Bridget, tell me exactly what was the worst day that you had during 4th of July, and what did you do to kind of offset it, if anything?
Yes. So for the fourth, so fourth was Friday. So I made sure that it was only gonna be one day, like you said, because Saturday and Sunday I was like, nope, I'm staying in the house.
Okay.
Yes. So Friday, I actually got up and actually participated. So they have like this Peachtree Road race that they do every year, running up and down like the middle of the city or whatever. So I was already like active at like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Um, so I didn't eat until about 2 o'clock, and I went out and I got a lime. It was a lime. It was tequila and lime because I told them no sugar. And then I ate steak and eggs. It was like this steak and eggs with crema and some cheese or something. So
Okay.
I had that. And then for my barbecue later on that evening, I brought my Coke Zero with me because
That's
I was like
smart.
tequila and Coke Zero because I wasn't drinking whatever they had. The barbecue, I had pork, a beef rib. I had just a little bit of the baked beans and the macaroni. Like, you know
Okay.
how you do like the one spoon?
Okay.
It looked real good, but I was like, one spoon. And they had sugar-free barbecue sauce. I was so excited.
Wow.
Um,
Down south too,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
I
Black
was
people
like,
moving on up.
ooh,
Probably was
oh
on my
my
program.
gosh. I didn't think they were
Man.
gonna have it. I thought
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna
think
have to
so.
eat that dry pork.
Yeah.
But and yeah, so I was drinking, but I also made sure I think I probably had about 3 or 4, but I mixed it with my Coke Zero and I had a lime. I put a lime in there and that was it. So I didn't eat. I'm telling you, the cookies was looking at me and the cookie cake was looking at me, and I said no. I said no sugar.
Okay.
I was so proud of myself, I swear, because I tell you, the sweets is my thing. Um,
I'm proud of you too. That's funny.
yes, yes, but I did get home at like midnight, you know what I'm saying? But I felt good. So
Okay.
I didn't get on the scale the next day because I already knew I did that. But I got on the scale on Sunday. But last week I knew like my cycle was on and I was still losing weight. So I knew that my cycle was going off on Sunday, and yesterday my scale was gonna drop too because I kept sleep. Last week was the first week I was sleeping like I was supposed to.
So basically, this whole entire time, um, she been somebody where she was always on average eating right, but due to her lifestyle, she wasn't able to get some sleep. Nowadays everybody's watching Love Island and all that, so that occupied her time. So now I told her to take her behind to sleep, and guess what? She lost the most amount of weight in 1 week by just incorporating sleep. It's really that simple, ladies. Okay? So, one thing I want y'all to always remember, especially as women, y'all was taught that men lose weight faster than women. No matter what, that's the case. Technically, in theory, there might be some truth to that, but the reason is not what y'all believe. It's not because you got slower metabolism. It's not because y'all got less muscle mass. It's because y'all go through more hormonal changes than us on an average day. So if you had the ability to go to sleep anytime you desire, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep as you desire, not wake up if you hear something in a corner, right? Or any little disturbance, 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose the exact same weight just as a man. But because for some of y'all have a cycle. And when you're on your cycle, then you might be craving a little bit more. And the cravings usually become rampant, not during the morning time, but later during the night, which means that during later night, you want something sweet, which means now you're having something sweet that's going to cause your body to glucose levels to spike, which means now it's going to be harder for you to go to sleep. Those little decisions add up. Okay? So, because Bridget chose not to really go crazy with her cravings on a cycle week, a lot of women was taught, don't expect the scale to drop on the cycle week. Bridget, how many days did you do cardio last week?
Um, I probably only did it 2 days.
2 days, right? How
Yeah.
many days do you think you got at least 7 hours of sleep?
Ooh, like every day.
Okay. Tell me how many days where you had a late night snack on your cycle last week.
None.
That's why she lost the weight. So that's why I'm trying to let y'all know it's more about self-belief. That was the only week since I've been working with Bridget where she didn't have no late night snacks. But this is also the week where she lost the most amount of weight during her cycle. And she was able to get the most amount of sleep because she wasn't getting late night snacks. So I'm just letting y'all know 1 + 1 always equal 2. If you ever see the scale stall, there's always a reason why. It wasn't a magical fairy coming down and saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to piss you off today. You gain weight. It's never happening like that. It's about, do you really know what's going on or not? Okay? All right. So, thank you for sharing, Bridget. Y'all ladies doing, I feel like a lot of y'all doing amazing right now. So I'm actually proud of this group. Do anybody got any comments on what's going on? I want to shout out Nicole. Nicole seeing the scale drop. Congratulations, Nicole. Keep doing your thing. I spoke to
Thank
you
you,
earlier
thank
though.
you, thank
Yeah.
you.
Whose body? Oh, no, that's Tina. I was about to say whose body poetry 101. Okay, all right. Jasmine C, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you enjoying the program so far?
So, I'll be completely
Be
honest.
honest.
I fell off
Okay.
for a while. A lot was going on, and like mentally, I just went into that weird hole again. But, I'm back and
Okay.
I'm going to keep trying and keep doing. And
Okay.
I break fast tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So you know what? So how long you been on this program? Somewhat.
um, I started in the beginning of the year with you,
Okay. Okay.
with Rashina's
Rashina's
group.
group. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I
on.
started.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
There's a little delay, so my bad. What was you saying?
No, no, no. You're good. You can go ahead. Yeah, I started with Rashina's group in the beginning of the year.
Okay. All right. So I'm about to say I see you pop in. I haven't seen your name in a little second, so I want to see what's going on. So because you said you fell off, right? But now you're trying to get back on track. What do you feel like was the main reason why you wasn't able to stay consistent the first time around? And what I mean by that is you might white was consistent, but what was like your biggest pitfall every single time?
I would say just and it's an issue just all around for me is just discipline, like just staying consistent. The minute there's any kind of inconvenience, I'm just like, "Ah, okay, never mind, like whatever, it doesn't matter." And although like mentally I'm like, okay, I know I can get back on track. I tried to fast a couple times, like in between, thinking that maybe that'll help me like reset my mind frame, but it didn't. So I'm just trying to be more forgiving of myself when I do fall off and just remembering to get back started again and not just fall into this hole of like, oh, well, I couldn't do it and just give up.
Right. So you know what? Let me ask you this. Tell me how your lifestyle is on the average day. What time you wake up for work? What time do you go to work? What type of family dynamics do you currently have? So we can really give you a game plan this time around.
I wake up anywhere between like 4:30 and 6:30, just depending on if I have my daughter, if I have to get her together or not, or if she's with her dad.
Okay.
And then I gotta rush her off to school or camp or whatever, and I gotta be at work by 8:30.
Okay.
I work an office job, so I'm just sitting at a desk pretty much the majority of my day. And then the minute I get off, I gotta run to her school because it's about an hour from my job, and then get her home, shower, dinner, get her to bed. And then I'm also in school now too. So when I'm done getting her into bed, I gotta do my homework. So sometimes I go to bed around somewhere between 10 and 12, just depending on how much I have to do still.
Okay. So ultimately, if you do notice the time of day where you start thinking about cheating or having something that's not favorable to your goal, what time of day on average is that?
I would say it's not necessarily the time of day. I think a part of my issue is like meal prepping. So like if I don't have enough food already made for myself conveniently, that's when I'll just go for the nearest option.
Okay. And what is your go-to nearest option?
Um, like tropical smoothie or lately it's been kava or like a sandwich from like Jersey Mike's.
Okay. So, and what time of day do you usually notice you end up in tropical smoothie, Jersey Mike's, or Cava?
Usually for like lunch or like if I already ate lunch and it's like dinner and I skipped my dinner because I was too busy running around, then I'll eat like later, like 8ish, 9ish.
Okay. So, all in all, if you really pay attention to what Jasmine is saying, she's basically saying so many words. When I do not think about what I'm going to eat and I'm allowed to freestyle, I get what I want. But that's not her fault because that's her default settings, right? So that's why what I try to tell y'all to do is, especially because look, she's a hardworking woman. She got, a daughter to take care of and X, Y, and Z. So when she's trying to put herself in a program that's focusing on making her make better choices, a lot of women's under the stigma that it means I got to start cooking more. You don't. That's why it's funny how a lot of y'all in this program, when y'all start stalling, the very first thing I say is what? Eat out. And y'all look at me like I'm crazy. And then I make you get something that's quote unquote fattening in your head. And then you look at me like I'm super crazy. But the reason why I tell y'all to eat out is because A, you're naturally going to give your body more calories. 2, less stress for your body, right? And less stress because now you're actually enjoying what you're eating. It's really that simple. And 3, when you eat out, you're probably going to give your body enough protein that it needs to sustain what you got going on throughout the rest of the day. To the point now that you're satiated, that you are not really thinking about, do I have to eat later? Or do I have to cook later? Because you ate enough earlier during the day. So if you are somebody who knows you have a tight-knit schedule, what I want y'all to do, which sounds fat as hell, I know, is when you first wake up in the morning, start thinking about what do I want to eat today. So like today at 8:30, I told myself I want Mediterranean food. I did not know where I was going to get it from. I want Mediterranean food. I didn't have Mediterranean food in like 2 weeks. So later today, around 2 hours later, or 2 hours before this call, I had Mediterranean food. But in order for that to happen, I literally Googled Mediterranean food near me. And then I looked at the list, about 5 to 10 restaurants. Then I selected one. Then I went. Can't go wrong with Mediterranean food. The worst thing you can get from there is going to be the pita bread or the rice. But I knew that. Right? So what I want y'all to do is think about options where I'm enjoying my food. The only thing I'm really going to compromise on is the side. But this meal from this restaurant that I'm thinking about naturally is protein based, right? So when Jasmine says Jersey Mike's, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going out to Jersey Mike's to get lettuce wrapped meat. I'm playing myself, bro. That's not what I want. If I wanted a sub, I want a sub with real bread. No, it's not keto. Get out my face. So that means the days I choose to go to Jersey Mike's or something like Subway's or something like that, that's going to be on a Saturday or Sunday. That way I can have what I want. But now, a place like Kava, right? If you pay attention to Kava, when you first think of Kava, you think of a bowl. You don't think of pita bread, right? You don't think of bread in general. You don't think about a whole lot of rice. If you look at the kava pictures, you see basically a salad of some sort. So out of all the 3 options that she named, I would say go to kava. But she's still eating out. She's just making a better choice because she's more in control of her own fate because she got more options available. Tropical smoothie, I don't know about y'all. Jasmine, what do you order from tropical smoothie? Watch her say smoothie or a panini.
I do their breakfast. Yeah, kind of like a panini.
I knew it. You see what I'm saying? And I don't even eat tropical smoothie. I knew because that's what we think about when we think about tropical smoothie. So without me, and I never ordered a panini from tropical smoothie a day in my life, I knew she was gonna say that. Because every single woman I ever dated, every single woman that talked about tropical smoothie, they get a panini. So don't even put yourself in that predicament. That way, if you do have something that might be a little bit off, that's not as ideal, like kava, right? Kava has sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes not that deep. But if you get the sweet potatoes with the rice, with the hummus, with the pita bread, they leave it out with one of their drinks, it is that deep. But if you get the super green mix, right, with some lentils, ladies, lentils is better than beans. So if you go to Cava or you go to a restaurant that has lentils, you can get the lentils every single time. Then she get a little bit of lamb in there, maybe a meatball or the honey harissa chicken. She gets some eggplant mix or some pepper mix. She gets whatever dressing that she wants, tzatziki, the lemon vinaigrette, whatever, on the side. And oh, you know what? Let me get a little bit of sweet potatoes because I'm choosing not to get the pita bread. She can still expect to lose weight. But in order for her to come to the conclusion, she had to think it through. Okay? So if you ever go into a restaurant or a fast food spot where you got to alter more than 2 things, maybe it's not as ideal. That's how I want you to think about it. But if you go to a restaurant where you can only swap out or only have to swap out one thing, like, okay, I want a steak, you know, it comes with fries, but you know what, I can get swap it out for asparagus, go crazy. You can't have it. Okay? So, Jazz, what I want you to do is, if you don't mind me asking, what city you live in?
I'm in Cape Coral, Florida.
Okay, so you're in Florida. What is your favorite, name 3 restaurants, and it could be one of the ones that you just named. Name your top 3 favorite restaurants, period, if you're trying to enjoy a meal. You're just living your best life.
Oh, there's a ramen spot. There's an Italian restaurant, and I can't remember the name. Oh, and Cooper's Hawk. I like their food too.
Okay. So she said an Italian restaurant, a ramen restaurant, and Cooper's Hawk. Now, off the top of your head, without thinking twice, which one is the best restaurant if your goal is to lose weight and why?
I would say Cooper's Hawk, maybe.
So, ironically, she knew exactly the right answer. Because we already know how we want to hook up our ramen bowl. And we already know when we go to an Italian restaurant, we touching that bread, we getting a pasta. Okay? So, that's what I'm trying to say. If you got to swap out, oh man, you know what? I usually get this wine from this Italian restaurant, but now I can't get the wine. And oh man, they bring out these breadsticks, and I love these breadsticks. Oh man, I can't get that too. And oh man, you know I want the pasta, but now I got to get the chicken parmesan. That's not an option if your goal is to lose weight from Monday through Friday. Don't even worry about it. Allow yourself to have that if you really want it on your cheat day, which is designated whatever day you want, Saturday or Sunday. The ramen spot, right? Could be a little bit better depending on what type of noodles they have. So, Jasmine, you ever been to this ramen spot and you notice that they got glass noodles, shiitake noodles, or kale noodles?
Yes, they have glass noodles.
They got glass noodles, right? But now, all glass noodles are not created equal. Do you think it's low carb glass noodles or real glass noodles?
Probably real carb.
Okay. That's to the side. So now Cooper Hawk is the one where if she's like, hey, it's just a random Monday, I want to go ahead and grab some food real quick, that would be the best one. And that's why, believe it or not, I tell my clients the absolute worst places to go if your goal is to see the scale drop to grab some food is Italian. She just named an Italian spot. And Asian. She's named the ramen spot. Why? All of these restaurants naturally is going to come with a whole lot of sauces, and it's going to be carb based. You notice how she said ramen. She didn't say ramen with chicken or ramen with eggs. She just said ramen. That's going to be the base. So it's going to be a whole lot of sodium. You already know that in the broth. And it's going to be a whole lot of noodles. A whole lot of starches. Right? Versus, let's say she would have said something like Korean barbecue. It's a little bit better. Why? Because now in a Korean barbecue spot, you can literally mix and match. And in a Korean barbecue or a hot pot, I'm not sure if y'all familiar with hot pot, but hot pot is a place where they give you a whole lot of meats and a whole lot of veggies and other things, and you can add into a pot in the broth. But the worst part of that is usually going to be the noodles, right? So Asia or pasta noodles is literally the same as ramen noodles. It's the same thing. It's pasta. It's just the Asian version of it. So just always stick to more American steakhouses or Mexican steakhouses or seafood spots or African spots. Anything else other than Italian or Asian spots if your goal is to see the scale drop the very next day, because everything that I just named on average is going to be more protein based. The name or the entree is going to have a good amount of protein. It's not going to be a whole lot of starches combined to make it a meal, like an Asian spot or Italian spot. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Try that out for us, Jazz. And you know what? What is your favorite? Let's say if you had to go grab some food real quick, like real quick. Would you prefer something like a Cava, something like Chick-fil-A, or a burger?
I would usually go towards a kava, but there isn't one near my house, so probably would be a burger.
Okay. And if you had to get a burger, what is your favorite fast food burger if you had to grab one?
Culver's.
Okay, that's the second time I heard about that. Heard they're pretty good.
Yeah.
What I would tell you, if you want to run an experiment, after you break your fast today, tomorrow, have your very first meal be Culver's. Double cheeseburger. If you really want a bun, Google Sola hamburger bun. I know they got that in Publix down there. Okay? But I want you to get a double cheeseburger as your first meal. Make it non-negotiable. You got to eat that. If it can't be from Culver's, make it a double cheeseburger from somewhere else. Just so you can see that life is a lot easier when you're making a food choice that you're already pre-planned, which means that you didn't meal prep, and B, you're not hungry for the rest of the day. Now you're just eating because you want to eat. I would rather you be in that predicament versus you are having a meal and you already plotting on what you're going to eat in the next 3 or 4 hours. Because you know it's not feeling enough. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
With or without like the additives.
What additives do you like?
Usually lettuce, tomatoes, extra pickles.
Can you have that based on what you know?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Me, caramelized onions too. So once again, it's not going to be what you put on the burger when it comes to things that came from the earth. It's going to be the things that are man-made. You ever seen a mayo oasis before?
No.
Okay, all right. Now y'all catching my drift. I don't got to keep going. All right? So that's what you got to watch out for. Not the things that came from the earth like that. It's going to be that bread. I've never seen a bread bush before. Okay? Even though I love fries, I've never seen a fries tree before. It might be those. Not the patty, not the veggies. Okay? So if you really want bread, get a solar or low carb bread, pack it in your Ziploc bag. So when you do go get your Culver's burger, just swap out your bun for their bun. Now you can have a burger. Boom. Just that easy. But that's the extra step the average person is not willing to do or didn't even think about. So that's what I'm saying. Plan out your first meal, ladies. If you do that, let everything else fall into place. Because 9 times out of 10, the scale's going to drop now. Because you ate enough. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jazz. All right, ladies. If nobody got no other questions, I'm going to end this call. So speak now, forever hold your peace.
Can we have mustard?
Is mustard sweet?
No.
What do?
Okay, so we can have stuff that's not sweet.
Period. If
Oh.
it's sweet for a reason. If it's
But we
creamy, Google it once. See if it makes sense. If it's spicy or hot, you can have it. Don't think twice. What do mustard taste like?
To me it's like a sour taste.
Okay, sour.
That's
Okay.
the taste I get from it.
Tangy, right?
Yeah.
That means on average it got 0 calories.
Yeah, I read it and I saw that it had 0, but then I was like, it's not spicy or hot, so I can't eat it. But now that I know, okay.
So instead of you saying if it's not spicy or hot, I can't eat it, I would rather you say if it's sweet, I can't eat it.
Okay. But we can't have mayo unless it's like a light mayo or something like that.
And so mayo, honestly, is one of the worst dressings on earth.
Okay.
Not because it's mayo, it's because what is the main ingredient in mayo. So if you like mayo,
Oh, okay.
like Hellman's or Miracle Whip and all that stuff, just make sure you get the green lid mayo. Now you can have mayo. Green lid means it's made out of avocado oil. Blue
Okay.
lid means it's made from soybean oil.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Let me write that down. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna eat it anyway.
You say you're not gonna eat it anyways.
If I have to think that deep into it, I'm not gonna
Oh
eat.
my God. When
No,
do you
for
get
real,
mayo
like, I'd rather
from?
just eat healthy
Where do you get mayo from? Do you usually use mayo at home or when you're out and about?
when I'm out and about.
So that's what I'll say. And when you're out and about, I don't ask for mayo, right?
Okay.
But when I'm at home, you can have the mayo at home if that is that deep. Avocado mayo. Now you can have it.
Okay.
Okay, so put in your next grocery haul.
Okay.
Okay,
now
but everything else is not that deep.
Eat. Because I broke my fast today,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a burger, like a lettuce wrapped burger, but it wasn't even really wrapped. It was one little piece of lettuce.
Yeah, where you get it from?
What's that restaurant called? It's a steakhouse. Ted's.
Okay.
Ted's. It's nothing special, but my job gives us lunch, so that's what they ordered from. So that's what I got.
You could have got a steak and you got a burger.
I know. I eat steak all the time. I just
Oh, okay. You try to switch it
crave
up.
burger.
Okay, all right. Well, that's cool.
I never order a burger, and I just been craving one, so that's why I got it.
All right. And since you had that burger, at any
Mhm.
point in time during the day, did you get hungry?
No, not really. I have a headache, which this is the first day I'm having a headache. Even when I was fasting, I didn't have the headache. I don't know why, but no, I didn't get hungry.
Anytime you have a headache, that means your body is deficient in magnesium. Where do we get magnesium from? Leafy greens. What else did you have with the burger other than that dry ass lettuce?
I had asparagus, I had tomato, I had onions, the lettuce, and then for dinner I had spinach.
Okay.
I had cooked spinach, I had shrimp, and I had some pork.
Okay. Sounds like you had a good day. What I
Yeah.
would definitely tell you to do is drink some of your essential water if you still got some, or drink some alkaline water. But
Okay.
anytime you have a headache, that means your body's deficient in magnesium. Simple as that. So majority of my clients, once we have our one-on-one calls, I tell them to pick up a magnesium glycinate supplement. But until then, just to make it easy for you, put some lemon inside your water, or put some pink Himalayan salt inside your water. You'll notice it'll go away.
What about key lime?
It's fine.
Okay. I like to stick to the more natural things.
Pink Himalayan salt is not natural.
No, I'm not saying that's not, but like there's lime, there's lemon, and there's key lime. Key lime is more alkaline. So like
Okay,
I
you
use
got key lime to it.
that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
I prefer key lime, but us peasants, we can't really get access to key lime all the time, so we have to use lemon.
Okay, got you.
All right.
Also I have one more question. I like to juice my gingers and turmerics and stuff like that. Can I still have that? That's like to keep me from getting sick and all that.
If you're having juice and turmeric, nothing else, you're not adding no crazy apples or bananas or kiwis or key limes and all that stuff, yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say. 'Cause when women say, oh, I want a juice, and then you say, oh, yeah, I got the turmeric and ginger, then you say pineapples, and then you say apples, and then you say blueberries, and it's like, bro, you just defeated the purpose of juicing. So once again, eat your calories, do not drink it. Period.
Alright. That's
If your
just
goal is
an
to lose weight.
just to keep myself,
Okay.
healthy.
So just eat the ginger like that, off the bone.
I could do that too, boo.
I mess with
I
you.
hate
I mess with
doing
you.
it.
I mess
I
with
do it sometimes, but I don't like it.
you. Yeah. So you can do that. All right.
Okay.